And I want to say this to the
YouTube
audience. I made my mistakes. But in all of my years of
grifting,
I have never profited from
racism.
I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of
racism,
I have never obstructed
spear chuckers.
And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of
racism,
that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not they're
grifter, racist.
Well, I'm not a
spear chucker.
He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smig. Hey.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
So much cancel attempts of me yesterday.
No way.
Holy crap!
Victimizers beware! The racist and bigots' greatest nightmares! Social justice warriors! Get triggered!
It's the bias response team!
If you've been offended, your feelings must be defended! Watch it go! Freedom of expression is a microaggression! Here comes Angela Freddy! He's always ready to fight fascism with fascism!
Starbucks windows don't stand a chance.
Ethic enhancer. He's a systematic racism finder. Racism everywhere. Using the powers of screaming and shame, they win every debate by calling your name. They're heroes who think that they're victims. Social justice warriors. Get triggered.
Morality, and now we're facing media's mortality. They lost the plot, we'll take a stand. These corporations must perish when we claim our land. Enough is enough, we've drawn the line. We'll take back our stories, a spark divine. The will of the fans, a storm on the rise. We won't be silenced by the hollow lies. We claim the legacy, break the chains. These companies must die for our world to remain. They can't take a passion. We're holding the gates for every fan stands protecting the will to create. We are the true keepers, the defenders of lore, and we won't stop until we settle the score.
Oh, you didn't know? It still exists, baby. It's not just hyperdrive time. Yo,
Indeed.
it's WTF Live, baby. And you're watching Will of the Fans. My name, as always, is Will. See what I did there? And tonight, Dragon Age has failed completely. And EA have no excuses. They can only admit, as it's cost them, it seems, almost $500 million.
Whew.
Various game studios continue to attack the fans. We'll get to them. There's obviously Code Violet, Kingdom Come, blah, blah, blah. An Assassin's Creed trailer is imminent. and an Xbox Direct as well. The real Game Awards will be happening midway through my next show. So we'll prep for that as well. Trump kicks DEI's ass and the absolute state of the gaming industry. But before that, I'm joined as always by my regular cohorts, Mr. Live and in living lack of color, Mr. Ryan Roger ATHAY and problematic white guy. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, Will, and for some reason people prefer to see me and hear me rather than simply just hear me. But it's great to be here, folks. I've got my triple screen extender for the laptop. Only one screen works because of technical issues. But I found it's more difficult to mount the camera, so that'll be an interesting challenge for the future. But you can see me, you can hear me. Everything is fine and dandy, and fingers crossed we'll have a great show talking about several topics of the day.
Indeed. Well,
just quickly before you carry on, John.
Yeah.
There's apparently a weirdo behind you with a spear, mate.
That's me. That's just me. Don't worry.
No, that's an accurate description, but okay.
Yeah. So yeah, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your corner of reality. We are actually here. Yes, this is not a hallucination. We are here for Will of the Fans. And
we are indeed, yeah.
Yeah, and it should be a jam-packed, action-filled episode of sorts. There's so much going on that I should probably just say, let's fucking go and let's get on with it. So.
We are going to have to let's fucking go, as is in the lyrics to my new intro. But and I'm very glad it is, actually, because I wanted people to recognize that it seemed like I was backing off a bit from streaming. No, I just had things that got in the way, some of which was prepping the new show, which people seem to be liking, so that's good. I'm now streaming at both ends of the day for me, as in first thing in the morning and last thing before bed on some days, like today right now. So that's not the most convenient thing ever, but hopefully you guys will appreciate it. And it seems that you are, because I can see plenty of folks in the chat already, both mods and new members like Nowhere Man 42, who just became a Will of the Fans member all by himself. Wow, thank you. Yeah, baby. Appreciate you for that. And also, who else is here? Let's see. Obviously, you're here, John, and you're very active in the chat. Ryan's here. He's very active in the chat. Yrys Roda's here, of course, as well. Dividing Dragon, hello. Sardoc, Spamfish, Rio, Dad of the Fans. I wonder who that could possibly be. He's not sitting too far from where I am right now, just down a floor and a bit to the right. I don't know this house. I spent too much time in this room. DramaticaLaur is here. Zork is here as well. And welcome James up. Gamergate2.org forever. Mad Old Crow as well. Derek Smith. And Yrys Roda has already gifted 5 more Will of the Fans memberships. We are on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. My God. My God, indeed. What the hell? I can't believe how many new people are joining the GRIFT force at the moment. Yeah, it's good. It's good times. I'm streaming all the time now, and my voice is shot as a result. It will get used to it, I'm sure. But thank you, Yrys Roda. We will crack on. Faye is here as well. Oops, that's not you. There we go. You guys are too fast in the chat for me to keep up with. I object to this. No, I don't object at all. I'm absolutely fine. James Up has been a member for 9 freaking months. That is quite the accomplishment. 9 months of WTF.
Even longer than I've been here.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. We started, it was just me and Ryan originally. Then somebody else joined us for a while. Then that somebody else turned into someone else completely. And we got you. So yay for James Up.
Upgrades.
We won't be going into that subject to be further, but it's not, if you want to know, you ask us privately. I'm not talking about it on stream. Not doing it. Anyway, yeah, we do have a lot of things to get on with. Of course, as always, if you would like to chime in with a super chat or whatever, no one's going to tell you to stop. Why would we? We're not insane. If you want to join the Grift Force, as many apparently have, with or without their own will being part of it, pardon the pun, then you are, of course, welcome to earn a ticket to the monthly members stream and get those emojis, including those spears. Let's see some spears in the chat as we dive into our first topic. Let's do a little bit of Rush News without officially calling it Rush News. Let's just pay some lip service to a few things that are coming up in the next few hours. And many of them will already have happened by the time you see me live again, chat. So we're going to go ahead and get on into, first of all, Assassin's Creed is dropping a trailer. Now, for you guys, I don't know what day it is. I think it's the morning or early morning.
Oh, yeah, early morning US, yes.
Yeah,
Early Thursday, yes. 8 a.m.
Right, for me, it's almost the 24th. But apparently it's going to be a very big day for Assassin's Creed Shadows. A story trailer will be released at 9 a.m., which that's Pacific time, which I don't understand. I think it's 3 hours behind.
That's 50 minutes from now. In
Is it
an hour? Yeah.
Pacific time? Really?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, Pacific. You're right. I was Eastern. I'm so used to Eastern being the thing that they
do. We all go by.
So that would be noon. So that's just a little
1 a.m. my
4
time.
hours.
So
Yeah.
just right. Okay. Cool. That's definitely coming out. That's coming out very soon. Obviously we know the game has faced delays, and Ubisoft is. I mean, what do we say about this? It's the last stand, maybe, to try and get some pre-orders.
Oh, absolutely. They've got to try now at Ubisoft to use what little resources the dying company has to just build a hype train, promote, because so much of the discourse surrounding this project, ladies and gentlemen, is just radioactive at this point. So much so that the titular characters, giggity, were shrunk in recent posters, and some chubby Japo kid was in it, and I'm thinking, no one was obese back then in that part of the world. Hunger and famine were a big issue in the Oriental world. So you can see the damage control, and I think this big hype train story trailer is part of that propaganda move.
You know, what you might want to do with this image is put the social justice dynasty warriors for the logo.
Oh no!
I think so. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, there's. I don't think this trailer is going to move the needle at all. Personally, I don't think it's going to make the blindest bit of difference. But I've been wrong before. But I'm not going to be wrong this time yet again.
You can tell, though, Will, the more desperate a company is, the more they'll just throw stuff out there to try and lure people in. So I'm thinking
exactly,
since this project is going to come out, I think in March, so technically late March. Over the next, how long is it? Less than 2 months. They're just going to throw all sorts of baits out there to really try and reel people in as a last stand to save what has been a disastrous project for Ubisoft.
Can we scroll up the image again just one more second? I noticed something.
Yeah.
All right. So of course we've got George Floyd, the samurai, but she is the assassin.
Yes,
of Assassin's
always
Creed.
has been.
Yeah. No, I didn't really notice until I looked at her left arm. I've not been paying attention to this thing, but that's the stealth blade and everything. And so this is our lady assassin, y'all.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think she's using. No, that is on her wrist. That's
that is totally
That's the middle finger destroyer. Yeah.
The best news I've heard all day is DramaticaLaur is a young woman.
Yes, that's what I was basically saying. She was asking for an award for that, and I said, I'm sure someone in the chat will reward you for being a 20-year-old woman if you look for it hard enough.
Would you like to be on reality based?
Right. Yeah. We can put you on our, developmental.
Hard disrecommend.
Put you in our developmental. You can be there with Furious Dan and Yrys Roda.
And Isaac, Crusader Isaac.
Indeed.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. No, maybe
come hang out with Noise Pollution and Toasty myself.
From real opinions. Anyway, also while we're paying attention, James Up has gifted $2 to say that we should not forget the Real Game Awards are today, and that is 100% a fact.
Yeah.
They are going to actually happen midway through my hype drive time.
Oh,
don't know. Yeah, I'm going to be beginning. It's scheduled an hour before, apparently. So it's apparently 8 p.m. EST. I start at 7 p.m. EST. So I don't know what's going to happen yet, just to acknowledge it. I've reached out to various people in our sphere, the Alliance, whatever, the Biggitverse, the Grift Force, whatever, to let you all know, I'm going to be live at that point. Do they want to come visit me? Do they want me to give up early and go visit them? We'll talk. Hopefully,
maybe you can give out an award and do like a
I'm a voting member of the Real Game Awards, so I have a vested interest in what happens.
Indeed.
So I will definitely be covering it in some form.
Whoever wins gaming journalist of the year is going to be interesting, especially considering recent events.
Looking forward to it. Oh, well, I don't think you can add latecomers. I think
I was talking about the existing candidates. Savvy, Trent, Endymion. I'm sure there was one more that
Are we talking about good journalist of the year or bad journalist of the year?
Good as in best for 2024. Technically, what's happened recently is in 2025.
I don't think recent developments. I know what you're talking about, and we're not going to cover it because I'm not officially becoming part of it. I'll sit back and make humorous edited clips and things. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
And
DramaticaLaur is also an offensive female, which is even better.
Yeah. I do like the RoboCop clip. It works for so many things.
It does.
It is what it is.
It does.
I just got fed up, man. I got fed up of being preached to, and I've had enough. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to get into it. But James Up, yes, the Real Game Awards are today. We will cover them very briefly in a little while, and much for that. Oh God, already we have got another one. So Furious Dan is here for 2 as well. While we're on it, shout out to Ryan, John, and Will of the fans. Wow, thank you very much.
Indeed.
He means problematic John, not any other Johns who do what we do also.
Indeed.
Especially those lacking H's. Yes. Having said that, let's crack on, shall we? Let's crack on with the topic. Anyway, so she's the assassin, and obviously Yasuke is the fake samurai, and we've all seen the new poster that came out recently. I'm trying to fucking find it now.
So much of this still image to Japanese viewers is offensive. You got an African Korean lead with building structures that are Chinese in origin, with plants that are Oriental. So Chinese, Korean, and Japan. Not a single thing about this still image is exclusively Japanese.
Yeah, it's quite the melange. Osaka, she is rather like, if you want to hear her kind of get annoyed and pissed off about anything, like, you just ask her about her thoughts on Assassin's Creed. Like, that's always fun. So, yeah.
Well, this is the new poster. I'm sure you've seen it already. Have you noticed anything in particular about this poster besides the large amount of new characters appearing on it? there's
of course, the chubby fat kid.
yeah, chubby fat samurai kid or ninja kid or whatever he wants to
Looks
be.
like
Kid, you know.
looks like he's gonna be a Pokemon trainer someday.
Yeah, he really does want to be the very best at failing and getting killed, doesn't he? No, it's to do with the two main characters. There's a distinct effort to hide their faces.
Yeah, I was gonna say they really are downplaying who the main characters are supposed to be, which is an interesting choice. You know,
I mean, if they put this on the box art, maybe some people would be just foolish enough to think that's Japanese.
Right.
And this doesn't look very Japanese either, to be fair.
No.
More Korean. So yeah, I'm thinking they've really tried very, very hard. And in 4 months, all they've managed so far is this fucking poster.
Right. You know, it would have been easier.
No, 4 months to be 3 months so far.
Yeah, I mean, like it would have been better for them to try hard at the beginning to actually make something that was, you know, not a completely offensive mess that just shit all over history and culture and, you know, like the fans, you know. But hey, you know, what's the last few months of just trying to pack it in there, you know? Like
exactly, yeah. What I mean, what possible? No, fuck this. What possible difference could they have made to the game in the time that they allocated for themselves? Fuck nothing. Nothing. They cannot possibly have achieved anything.
No.
I mean, the only reason for such a delay, the kind of delay we've seen, is to regain control of the narrative, folks. Narrative control. If you win it, you control the discourse around the topic. If you lose it, then it's simply damage control, whether it's you just go radio silent or you constantly double down. In Ubisoft's case, they tried narrative control, and they're trying it right now with all these trailers and posters and things. I think they'll fail, and that'll lead to the damage control of, well, who do we blame? Not ourselves, others. The discourse around it will be blamed for this project failing.
Very much so.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's screwed. I mean, the trailer will be out soon, a few hours from now, not many, and I'm sure I'll react to it in what is the morning for me, but it's drive time for America. So that's cool. We'll get around to it. But there's another thing that's happening at more or less the same time. Actually, it turns out that the Xbox Developer Direct will also be coming very soon. In just a few short hours as it goes. I will already be in bed by then because I have to get up early and stream again. Yay! But actually, I do love it. I'm being a bit maudlin, but I am loving what I'm doing at the moment. This, on the other hand, I have very little hope for at all.
Yeah.
The only thing that has piqued my interest even a little is Doom. The new Doom. What's it called? Oh, God, I've forgotten already.
Dark Age.
The Dark Ages. That's right. Yes, the Dark Ages. And I mean, if it's more of the same, then I'll be relatively happy. I know a lot of people had some issues with Doom Eternal. But I didn't play it, frankly. But I didn't have massive issues with it either. I just thought what I've seen of it looked like more of the same. I wasn't happy that you could see the Doom Marine in third person in cutscenes. I feel like what they did with the first one, when I say first, I mean, of course, fourth.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they really needed to keep it in, like, telling the story with just you able to see his hands. You know, like
Bethesda's Doom, because, of course, Doom back in the 90s was completely different than Doom.
I'm talking about the first Bethesda Doom 2016. What I really loved about that, and I really did love that game. I make no apologies. I mean, id Software made it. Bethesda just published it.
Right.
And what I loved about it was the fact that they absolutely retained that doominess, like the run and gun aspect of it. They added the ultra violence, which everybody loves. That's Doom's identity. But the fact that when there were opportunities to tell you the story, like the screen comes up in the first few seconds and the fucking robo guy, I can't think of his name anymore, the bad guy.
Hayden.
Yeah. I think it was, yeah. Whatever it was, the robo dude who steals the
Sword.
Yeah, it's been a while. I last played it in the lockdown. You know, the screen comes up. He's trying to tell you the story. The hands come up and throw the fucking screen away. Then he tries to catch you again in the lift or the elevator to the Americans watching on the way up to the first proper level. And he literally just smashes the shit out of the intercom, and the title screen comes up. I love that. You get everything you need about that character in just a few little motions. You're pissed off and you're ready to kill demons. That's all the Doom guy's ever been.
It's
Don't
just
need more than
pure.
that.
It's pure unadulterated gameplay, folks. You don't play.
I fucking
Doom.
hate demons.
Yeah,
I'm the Doom guy, and I fucking hate demons. Sorry,
You don't play Doom for the story. That's just the cream on the cake. You play Doom for the action, adventure, go forward or die mechanic, essentially, especially with Doom games. And that is pure, unadulterated gameplay that a lot of franchises can learn from. And that's why when Doom originally came out, I think it was in 1993, it was so much of a success that it inspired a whole new genre. And I think it's great inspiration in their recent projects for other games to follow suit. If there was a way to have that sort of gripping action adventure gameplay in a third person setting, then the possibilities would be endless. But first person, seeing it from that perspective does make it a lot easier to have that quick action, that quick killing, and the gritty nature too. Yeah,
and there's no need to like aim for very long to like get a shot. It's very giving with hit detection, you know, so you can cut a fucking swath or swathe through demons from hell, and that's what you are playing Doom to do. And more power.
Religious experience, you know.
Oh, it is. It's a wonderful thing to be able to boot up and just fucking execute the hell out of the worst monsters from hell. When you're in I often fire it up just to run levels after a traffic jam. I haven't played the story in like 4 years. I just play like the opening levels, you know, just to run a gun. Other things that have been announced, they're going to be covering South of Midnight, which nobody cares about because it's sweet baby bullshit. And
another Kim Bel-Air game.
You know it. And another French Final Fantasy RPG style thing called Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I guess. And Demon Shooting
Simulator.
I've heard a lot of good things about Expedition 33.
Probably have. I'm being unkind because the French have pissed me off. Ubisoft. But more than that, we've also got to deal with the fact that there's a fourth game. Lots of people are calling Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. And I'm not on that team. I think if Bethesda is going to announce an Elder Scrolls game, it had fucking better be Elder Scrolls 6.
That's
it's going to be like Half-Life 3 syndrome. It's like,
well, what else have they got? They've released Starfield. Have they got anything else lined up that I'm forgetting?
Not to my
they
knowledge.
Got a Fallout series on
well, yeah, the Fallout series,
Amazon Prime. I guess
the Fallout series was so much of a success that people were asking for another Fallout game, and I think after Elder Scrolls 6, we will get another Fallout game. But from my perspective, Bethesda was expecting Starfield to be another Skyrim and to last the test of time necessary to buy Bethesda the time to make Elder Scrolls 6. But that hasn't paid off.
No.
Right.
Might help if you actually make a game that has, I don't know, characters, personality.
Bethesda's living proof, John, that
weird, you know,
but
you can fuck up without DEI.
Well, yes, Bethesda is Bethesda is living proof that you can do the same thing for practically 20-odd years. Eventually, people will get sick of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just the same
Not
thing.
that sick of it, though, because if they did release if they did make an Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake and they changed nothing, but just remade it, I guarantee it would sell gangbusters.
Oh yeah, and if they could have done Elder Scrolls or Fallout in space, I mean, I'm sure people would have been perfectly fine to go along with that. It's just you know, they were so caught up in their
Yeah, you get like a spaceship DLC in Fallout 4. You get in it and you can fly across the map. That would be interesting.
I'm a clone of a dude.
Shout out to
lived
Hypno in the
100
chat,
years
by the
ago.
way. Hello, Hypno. Shout out to you being here as well. I show up in his streams very often, so it's nice that he's in mine. Incidentally, dude, what are your plans for the Real Game Awards? Let me know, because we'll both potentially be streaming at the same time. And well, let's talk.
Better to hang together than to hang separately.
Which is a lovely segue into talking about the Real Game Awards, by the way. But before we do that, I do need to acknowledge 20, for the love of God, 20 diaper fund from James Opp. I have no sound for this. I'm going to give you this.
We're clapping, we're clapping, we're clapping, 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 we're clapping, we're clapping, we're clapping. Now we stop. Let's try twisting.
Hope that suffices. I hope that suffices.
It does.
Anybody who's donating to my lovely little daughter, who now squeals, giggles, and has 4.5 teeth.
Nice.
We are progressing nicely, and a lot of that is you guys. Not gonna lie, you guys help a lot. And yeah, there you go. And what? Wait, will Minecraft be in the awards? Wow. No. I don't know. But the Real Game Awards are coming, and Stuttering Craig, or Craig Skistimus, if you must, has tweeted out a couple things I wanted to pay nice attention to, because as I already tweeted it, anyone following me at Will of the Fans on X will know that I believe that this is just Craig being Craig. The guy's been in the industry, out on the periphery of the industry for close to 20 years. The man knows what is up. He knows what the future will be. And he's released the trailer for the Game Awards. I guarantee I can't play it because my internet's been all kinds of janky today. And also he tweeted that you can totally co-stream, do watch parties, etc. Enjoy the show as you please. And that is lovely. So, yeah. I think this is a good thing. Obviously, I'm already, as I said, a voting member.
Yep.
It will be going live halfway through what is scheduled to be Hyperdrive time. So, again, like I said, I'll decide what is going to happen as and when the situation comes. Looks like I might have some info to get to, and we'll get to that.
Sure.
Oh,
I think it's fan. Oh,
it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Well, I think it's fantastic that something like this is happening, and it's great to see that a legacy creator in Stuttering Craig, who's been there and done it for decades, is spearheading, for lack of a better term, this effort. And it will be interesting to see what the folks who are part of the Real Game Awards, the voters, the paid voters, for lack of a better term, because I can't come up with one off the top of my head, will decide what the best kinds of games are, and the best kinds of and worst kinds of folks who cover said games, and maybe wider entertainment as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Real Game Awards in more than name only.
Mm-hmm.
The only Game Awards that should ever matter to gamers are the awards that are given to games by gamers. Simple. Whenever I've walked into a game shop in my younger years, let's bring Oblivion back, for example. They walk into a game shop circa 2007 or 8 or whatever, and you see Oblivion on the shelf, Game of the Year edition. I'm thinking, wow, gamers must love this. I'm not thinking, wow, journos must have been paid to vote for this.
Yeah. If you're having to stop to give your awards to go and like talk about stuff that's like 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 months out, bullshit, like, hey, let's sit here and chill for the future. It's not what the award show is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a recognition of the things that have already taken place and happened, So
yeah. And I do like the fact that they let the year end before starting to reward games, because they have legacies.
Yes.
The 2024 Game Awards for games released in 2024. So no, Pokemon doesn't count. Final Fantasy doesn't count. Animal Crossing doesn't count. Yeah, it will be happening after the year's out. It's a good thing to do. It's smart. I don't know if I can get this video to play. I'm going to give it a go.
Why? Yeah, actually, it's a very important point, Will. Why does the Keeleys, as I like to call it, host their Game Award show, or was it quite a few months back?
It's like in November.
November. When there are games, not many games, but still a few games that are due for release in 2024. So I think that it's fantastic that the timing of the real Game Awards is a lot better than the timing of the Keeleys, which is what I call release projects.
Of course. It's a terrible time to do the awards for movies, games of 2024, because you are still in 2024. Games can still come out or completely bomb or end up with a terrible reputation, and that did literally happen. I mean, even games that haven't come out have the reputation. So
well, I think that's because those awards are really just stealth marketing for people trying to sell their wares during the Christmas season.
Oh, and I'm sure.
I mean, that's my take on it.
I'm sure whoever wins these awards will get quite the boost, especially the Best Journalist Award.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Best Journalist. I'm also looking forward to the Worst Journalist, because I'm just gonna tell you straight up. I know a lot of people voted for Mercante.
Yeah,
because I'm a voting member and I saw some of the votes. I'm not going to ruin the show, and I have no idea who won. And I mean,
my money's on Mercante easily. Like,
if Mercante doesn't win, we riot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of shit journalists listed. We've got Paul Tassie's in there. I think Rebecca Valentine's in there. Yeah, of course. There's Alyssa.
I mean,
told
is Schreier on that list, or?
I don't think so. I could
Wasn't
get
there...
the site up, but I'd be logging into a member, membership account.
Yeah, I know.
Possibly revealing things. I don't know whether I want to do that.
I know all those reporters have made a few missteps and miscalculations, to put it nicely. But fucking Mercante's a walking calamity that just cannot, stop herself from.
What did Paul Tassi do? Smear a YouTuber.
Yep.
Multiple times.
Right.
And that's bad. What did Rebecca Valentine do? Misrepresent a video game and the words and actions of a journalist. Of a game creator. Mercante did both of those things.
Right. Yeah. And she's also trying to undermine the whole concept of game reviews and YouTube in general. Get across
I think
censorship.
It would be, John.
She's made a mockery even of the fraudulent game journalism industry as it is.
It would probably take us less time to inform viewers what Mercante hasn't done.
Right.
She hasn't
done actual legitimate reporting. She
hasn't done an Elon Musk salute.
Right. In public.
Which I still maintain was a totally innocent act of well-meaning.
Totally.
But still a very ill-advised one at a Trump event.
Right. Because I mean, his motion was horizontal, where an actual mustache man salute is a vertical maneuver.
Yeah, we all know what it actually is.
It's like goose stepping with your arm.
Folks, my heart goes out to you all.
Indeed.
Yeah, without the gesture. We have these words, could have used.
What am I doing behind my my PWG image? You'll never know.
He's hypothetically a Nazi. Oh no! What are we going to do?
I mean, I do have blonde hair and blue eyes, so
I could see that in an article. Will of the fans platforms hypothetical national socialists.
That's right. And and I'm like cell shaded and human, so it's like it's two for the price of one. So
yeah, definitely. James Up has chimed in again while we're at it for 5 more, and thank you very much. What an MVP you're being today. Says, excuse me, bit of gas there. I did not like how he did voting. He should do open voting all at one time. I missed half the voting because it was staggered. Yeah, I did it on my phone, and I did kind of regret that I had to keep going back and refreshing and scrolling further to get to the one before it and further to the one before it. But I'm letting it go because he has said on multiple occasions that despite the budget that has been given to him to produce this award show, the website itself is still very early days.
Might be a logistics issue, though. It was.
Yeah, I'm thinking he'll probably spend a lot of time and effort updating it over the next year. Are we to continue doing this? And if so, look, what I will say is I've watched Craig for many years, like at least 10, 15 maybe. I've been aware of him. And I've never seen him say he'll do something and then fail to follow through on it. So I give him my good faith because he has earned it. And you know, anyone who's friends with AVGN can't be bad. So, you know, there's that. But I appreciate what you're saying, and it was kind of annoying, but I was happy to. I was almost even a little glad that it took me the actual effort to go through it all and do it. I was stuck somewhere at the time, so I had nothing better to do anyway. But whatever.
It's early days. It's the first, folks. I'm sure when the first Oscars happened, there was some technical difficulties. I'm sure during the first Keeleys, there were kinks that needed ironing out. This is the price we pay for starting things out. If someone starts out at 100%, folks, then it's terrifying where they'll be in 10 to 20 years, okay?
And the other thing is, of course, that people have said numerous times, like, oh, he's a fucking grifter. He's the ultimate fucking grifter. He wants, you know, a free and fair game awards for gamers. Oh, here, pay $30 to vote. Yeah, $30 a year. Are you serious? That's less than $3 a month.
It's less than the price of a gaming. It's less than the cost of PSN or Xbox Live. You know,
it's less than the price you'd pay to get a photo of Mercante's ass.
Well, how else are you supposed to financially support such an occasion? I mean, we still live in a financially based world, folks.
Yeah.
Not everyone is like me and can make tables out of videotapes and fucking DVD players. Got to have budgets for these sorts of things.
That's right. And Ryan's even getting ready to, like, you know, turn the corner on that. He had mentioned
hardware upgrades and then
table
software.
upgrades.
I'm not buying a new table. No.
I bought new shelves. They're bending already under the weight of all the stuff. But hey, you know, and a new mic. Although sometimes I think it's too close to my face, so that's why I've pushed it back a bit and sorted some tech out there. But basically, the long and the short of it is, I have complete faith in Craig to pull off an entertaining real game awards. And yeah, the voting was a little inconvenient for the people actually voting. And I had firsthand experience of that, but I'll forgive it because it's just getting off the ground. And you might say, not you, James Ob, at all, but they out there might say, oh, he's a grifter charging $30 a year from people who want to vote. What do you think it really costs? Not you again, James Ott, but what do they really think it costs to put together the Game Awards, to put together the Oscars, to put together the Grammys, the Golden Globes, the Emmys, the daytime Emmys, any of this shit? We're talking about a very grassroots thing with a very modest budget, and that's fine by me.
There are bandwidth issues to consider, you know.
It's also voluntary.
The website itself, all of the things. Yeah.
Whoops. I'm just trying to see if that would play or not. Shall we watch it? And also, once again, James Up, thank you very much. You $5 and your $20 and your previous $2 worth on that one. Thank you very much, mate. Let's give it a go and see if this fucking thing will work. This, by the way, love it.
that Hollywood bullshit. This is for the fans. Welcome to the Real Game Awards, baby.
Brilliant.
Indeed.
And there you go. I'm really glad that played, because I wanted, if nothing else plays today, I wanted that to play, because I really appreciate what he's gone to here in terms of who his fan base are. Like, you look at the artwork, it's like a mixture of Ren and Stimpy, SpongeBob, and Flash Gits, who is a YouTube channel. And then, of course, there's Johnson John Nukem. So, and someone said, "Is that the real Johnson John?" And he said, "What do you think?" So, I think, yeah, I think he's got that pull, that little bit of pull.
We're getting
and
to
also,
the point.
I know that Duke Nukem is verboten these days, so why wouldn't he want to be involved in this?
Well, yeah, we're getting to a point where you're getting that potent mix of rejected talent. So establishment defectors who have been
Very
trapped out.
correct. Yes.
And the creativity of
brilliant.
Yeah,
They'll call this racist.
Exactly. Oh, look, it's Tojo with a wig. But in all seriousness, folks, you're getting that potent mix of entertainment establishment defectors with legacy creators, combine it with a bit of funds, and you've got one hell of a creative endeavor, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of that whole $30, you know, is
Yeah.
going and securing, you know, voice talent and things like
We have
that. And the cost of the animation and all the things. So, you know.
About this, I want to talk about this while we've got a bit of time.
Sure.
This is fantastic. Look at, I mean, it's so classic cartoon, the extreme expressions. It's got the Hollywood Acceptance Awards as the title. Obviously, that's Jeff Keighley.
Yep.
You've got Mapping Seal, you've got Kotaku, GameSpot, and IGN on their name cards. You know, you've got, I'm not even sure if that, who is that supposed to be?
Hideo Tojo Kojima.
I wanted to say Hideo Kojima, but I wasn't sure. I mean, I was, but I you know, I didn't know. Then, you know, you've got some, he's going through games, he's distracting them all, he's fucking up, you know, he's not actually paying attention to any of the games, he's rushing to the stage, he falls on his roller skates, finds himself before Duke Nukem, who is clearly voiced by the real Johnson John, or the greatest impressionist I've ever heard.
Screw that Hollywood bullshit. This is for the fans. Welcome to the Real Game Awards, baby.
Baby.
Yeah, it's like a Macho Man version of Doom, and considering the Duke Nukem franchise is a bit wobbly as of late, that would be a great acquisition for a legacy creator project.
Yeah. So I'm all in. I have nothing more to say about it than that. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see Mercante as shit journo of the year. I don't
I'm sure
really
she
care
does
if any of
actually
the
at this
games-
point in time. She's even, you know, understanding
She told,
how this is.
she told Rebecca Valentine not to a digital.
Yeah.
thing.
When she
when
her
she was
first
talking
time
about
getting,
her in that cringe video we covered, to suck her dick, which I think is just totally classless for a woman to say. But there you go. Yeah, I think she deserves it. I think she's done everything every bad journo has possibly done, and more. I mean, none of the others sued someone and tried to ruin their life. And
yeah,
Yep.
You know,
Taylor
I mean-
Lorenz literally passed the torch on to her, Will. Literally.
it does seem like that might be happening. Yeah, I did see that.
But I mean, the fact
anyway,
that she doesn't even see it as like an act of shame to be recognized as such. Like, I mean, that's just extra, you know.
give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
The church hate me, John, so I get more victim points and be
That's
on
right.
the Rolling Stone.
That's right. She'll bring it up in her court case. You know?
Yeah, I'm being harassed by Craig Skiskus, however you fucking
It
pronounce
was
his
an organized hate campaign of, you know, awarding me my shittiness, you know.
It's fantastic, though, that something like this is happening, folks, and hopefully it will inspire others to create and get showcased as a result of their creation. So when we look at the Real Game Awards, despite all the kinks of the early years, I think its legacy is going to be a strong one, backed up by a legacy creator who's been there and done it for decades. And here's the result of it. Best of luck. While Will is away, John, who do you think's... Oh, he's back now. But while Will was away, I was just going to ask John a question. Who do you think will win Best Journalist of the year? Because it's quite a list.
Who are all the nominees?
Well, I know 3 of them off the top of my head. Endymion, Madam Savvy, and John F. Trent. I think there's either 4 or 5, so I'm missing 1 or 2, but I definitely know... I know Smash JT's not on the list, which really surprised me. But I know those 3 creators
presenting an award.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Between who's been stated, I think, you know, Savvy and she is like full of so much detail in the things that she covers, you know, that but Endymion, like that one could be that one's a toss up, you know.
Oh, it's definitely a toss up for 2024, just to give people the context. I don't know, when did voting close, Will, or is it still open?
No, it closed a while ago now.
Right. Now, if
remember the web is still very basic, so I'm trying to navigate it off screen.
But assuming I'm going to do something that Hypno says you shouldn't do. I'm going to assuming the voting closed.
Well, you shouldn't assume because it makes an ass of you and me, but I don't think you're about to do that. So
no, but assuming that voting closed on the last day of 2024. Right. So before all the recent controversy.
Insanity. Right.
By the standards of 2024, I think it's going to be very close. And I would personally choose John F. Trent, mainly for the legacy aspect. The man carried Bounding for nearly a decade. Everyone at one point used him as a source. Of course, he's gone his own way since then. But in terms of legacy and in terms of brand consistency, because he's always been religious in nature, I think he would be Journalist of the Year 2024. But I'm going to say most definitely next year. Well, next year. For 2025, I think we're going to see a lot of differences for Best Video Games Journalist. Maybe also for Worst. Because you think Mercante is bad. Imagine who she inspires to enter the arena.
Right. Well, that and I mean, she's been getting ratioed left and right. I wonder how many months do you think she's gonna get ratioed before she decides to just pack up shop on this whole?
I don't think she'll ever give up.
She's that kind of radical.
Tenacious.
Yeah, Will is absolutely correct in that assessment.
I think if she was, I think she's passed all the logical off roads at this point, and now she's just careening towards the cliff.
All right. Well, I do think that she's lolcow enough that she's gonna say, well, that negative engagement's actually positive engagement. It's
she's the absolute undisputed queen of all lolcows at this point. Jaffe gave her a little run for her money for a couple of weeks, and then he veered off after trying to quietly grift on it on his channel for a little while. And he's trying to grift off the Real Game Awards too. He says he can't wait to hate watch, and he's going to be streaming his reaction to them as well. Nominate that we all completely and totally boycott him and then react to him later.
Maybe he should focus on his own project.
These are the categories, by the way. We'll get to them.
Well, maybe Jaffa Cake should focus on his own project, rejecting the live service model in that Sony cancelled a God of War live service game. Maybe you should focus on that, considering he was one of the people behind its flourishing.
He was the creator. He's the creator of God of War.
Really?
Yeah. So so he would probably at least be getting executive credit.
I think Corey Barlog, who runs it now, or was running it at least in when the original reboot God of War came out. I don't know if he still is now, because I didn't watch any. There weren't any documentaries made about Ragnarok because no one cared because it sucked.
Yeah.
But But anyway, look, the categories are best story, best MMO, best multiplayer experience, best early access, biggest cash grab, best value, husbando of the year, which is like the male version of waifu, best video game journalist, worst video game journalist. These are two that are unique to the Real Game Awards. Best sports game, best RPG, best racing game, worst bait and switch, best FPS, best third person shooter, best fighting game, waifu of the year. Obviously, you can predict who's going to be in that. Best company, biggest industry failure. Now, you know already these are going to be Concord. I think Concord's going to win. I think that's what I voted for. Best PlayStation IP, best Microsoft IP. Not that there were many. Best Nintendo IP. Well, there weren't many PlayStations either, for that matter. Then you've got. I'll read them in descending order of importance or ascending order of importance. Best Jiggle Physics, shitty ass game of the year, which I think I can't remember anymore what was included.
Tight competition on that one too.
I nominated Dustboard, Dragon Age, Veilguard. I'm a nominating member actually, as well as a voting.
Right.
And finally, Game of the Year. And you can probably predict what the.
I don't know if he is, but it really does seem appropriate that Hypnotic would be giving the waifu award.
I mean, I don't know if he is. Hypnotic, if you're still watching, can you confirm? Are you giving waifu of the year? I don't know if he's that close with Craig. He doesn't appear on his. He hasn't been on side scrollers, I don't think. Which is odd.
I think he has.
Has he? I don't know.
Yeah,
have you been on side scrollers, Hypnotic? I don't know.
I mean, Hypnotic is everywhere. He's like
I'm also surprised.
No?
Nah.
Oh, well, I must be imagining things. But I'm surprised because the Keeleys have...
If there was any YouTuber who should be given waifu of the year, it's Hypnotic. Come on.
That's what I'm saying, you know?
Well,
anyway,
I know that the
Keeleys.
I know that the Keeleys have content creator of the year, and it went to Queso, who's actually very funny. But I'm also surprised that there isn't content creator of the year in I know it's not really related to gaming, but a lot of live streamers, game streamers are in this space, and you know, maybe consideration for next year. Best content creator or content creator of the year or live streamer of the year or shorts video maker of the year, that sort of thing.
I think to some degree that's the best game journalist would kind of qualify in that.
You could make that. Yeah, you could make that argument.
We are the media now. We are the press.
Yeah, article writers can also be video makers and live streamers, that sort of thing. Yeah. I found out through Smash just how difficult it is to make videos, make shows, and write articles, because I did a practice article on the fall of Ubisoft, and it took me like 90 minutes to write out four little pages, so like A5.
Right.
So it can be a big challenge.
Yeah. If you're somebody who writes scripts for your content, that would probably give you a little bit of an inside edge, because then you can effectively just use your script as your article.
You could.
Right.
Go on, Will.
No, I'm just thinking about how I'm all in for this. I'm really kind of amped for it. I definitely want to be watching it live somewhere. And I don't know whether, Hypno, if you're going to be streaming it, let me know, or you want to jump on mine and we'll watch it, or whatever. We'll work it out.
Phrasing.
Either way, I think, anyway, I think we should all be, someone should be preparing to have many voices together on one stream to cover this, because it'll be a lot of fun, I think.
Like a special episode sort of scenario.
Yeah. So let me know if you come up with any plans. In the meantime, we'll move on to a few bad news topics, I suppose. Let's have one more good news topic. It's only a few minutes, and we don't have any necessary timestamp framing anything. This is just kind of like a loose discussion tonight.
Oh yeah, sure.
DEI. Goodbye, DEI. White House orders all DEI offices to begin closing by the end of Wednesday. That was happening as I streamed this morning my time, and should be well in the books by now. But I think, well,
we had a good talk about this on Reality Based. We managed to get everyone's perspective on the situation, because we don't have enough time for debate, unfortunately. I think it's a good sign of things to come, but we do know how egregious the opposition is in narrative control and frameworks, that sort of thing. And this is a great segue to get John's more reality-based perspective. Go on.
I mean, like, I do appreciate
correct.
No.
I mean, I do love to see it.
Just wanted to play it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's been so long. It's been we you know, like we weren't here for Sunday. We weren't here for Tuesday. I was missing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. About that.
That's all right.
John
That's
may
right.
be cynical and a tangent king, Will, but on this point, I think he's hit some nails.
Yeah,
go on.
I might. So, like, this is currently at the federal level, and I do applaud their efforts. But I unfortunately, as good as this news is, there is a whole host of legal teams doing everything they can right now to figure out how to package DEI into terms of service, and just frame it in a form that allows for different kinds of censorship. The stuff that we're seeing at Square Enix, we've seen at Sony, we've seen at 2K, we're seeing at Epic Games. So like the end of DEI in kind of its prominence as being called that, but just like genetic modified became gain of function, became directed evolution, became whatever the hell they're calling it now. There will be word games that will kind of just evolve out of this, that we're going to end up with the same kind of bullshit under a different banner, and they'll just find a way to put it into the private sector completely to try to wrap it all up. So yeah, I think it was appropriate to do the crackpot theory. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, there's no way this is going to just happen. No. I mean, it would be truly naive to think so.
Yeah.
But I also think,
go on.
I think Trump has got a very good idea now, an idea he did not have in 2016 and definitely did not have in 2020, about how badly poisonous, venomous, and disgusting the swamp really is, and just how many worms and eels will try to burrow into your fucking boxes to survive. And I just think, there's got to be some part of this administration that's ready for a grassroots granular battle over this kind of thing. So I'm staying optimistic, but I absolutely get what you're saying.
Oh yeah, the idea of a Soviet-style collapse of the opposition, folks, is a pipe dream. I mean, that's not what was originally expected back when the Cold War came to an end. It surprised both sides that the Soviet system just collapsed like a house of cards. It would be naive of us to expect the opposition to fall that way. It'll be a managed decline followed by a reinvention. And I think we're going to see that over the next 4 years, especially if folks that hung together in the early 2020s rip each other to bits in the mid to late 2020s.
Yeah, and aside from that, when we get into it, the meat of that IGDA publication that they put out for the state of gaming, bullshit for 2025, they expressly state what their intended outcomes are in there. They couch it in a whole bunch of spin statistics and weird kind of vagaries, but it's quite clear their intention, the highlight stuff that they put in there, like
based in Europe to spread especially into Japan, to South Korea, to Taiwan, And from there, those will be the bases of operation. The European Union, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan for this insidious agenda outside the United States, but still within the Western
it's
sphere
trying
of
to creep into the Philippines already. I've noticed it. My wife's pointed out various things that have pissed her off in the last few months. And I've said to her, well, Trump, this is why America has to go back to simplicity and normalcy and fucking truth, for God's sakes.
And that's why.
And you're gonna get rebranding. This is the thing that we knew is coming. We heard about it back in May. Ubisoft, there was an article associated with them. I can't remember the exact details. It was a long time ago. There is a video on my channel about it. You've got terms like inclusion and belonging, community advocacy, leadership, talent, inclusive culture. There's any number of shit, but I can't believe that Trump and Musk, frankly, and Ramaswamy as well, though I know he stepped away from Doge, would be dumb enough or naive enough not to see that coming a mile away, and to include in the legislature that, anything that results in discrimination will be invested, and potentially for a long time. That's what you've got to do. You've got to make it impossible to do in the next 4 years.
I think the most troubling thing for the opposition is hints at Trump's imperial ambitions. When we first heard about, he wants Greenland, he wants Canada, he wants the Panama Canal. At first, it was just laughed off.
They make sense.
Yep. At first, it was just laughed off. But when you realize that the opposition are now going to fully base themselves in the EU and in the Pacific region, because they realize Trump is absolutely serious in that he wants Greenland. He will pressure Denmark to take Greenland by any means. You could say the same for Canada, although that's on a much greater scale, and that would shock the world, because if he can do that in Canada, what stops other countries doing that to their neighbors as I know it's a radical idea, but it just goes to show that the orange man doesn't have anything to lose now, and the reverberations culturally, it's going to be a culture shock, because if he wants Britain to be free of this nonsense, of this egregious nonsense, he'll make it happen. Likewise with Greenland and Canada, you're seeing America's imperial ambitions being used not to conquer, but to liberate lands from this, and it is a poison.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. It could go bad. But, for now, I mean, without getting into too fine points about it, a lot of these locations are very strategically advantageous. For example, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America kind of inherently implies, I should say, that it is your territory in which to drill, baby, drill. And there's little subtextual things like that I think personally are genius. And if he did actually manage to enact that it would cripple people being able to raise the price of oil for several years. So, there we go. Anyway, it could be really good. And there we go. Anyway, I think, it's going to be a weird fucking few years and an exciting few years.
You're gonna see things, folks, that humanity has not seen for a very long time, and it's going to happen in a country that has the muscles to flex to make it happen, both on their own territory and in other people's territories. Because usually, if you fuck with America, you're pretty much fucked.
That's how it used to be anyway. Anyway, I need to catch up with a couple of super chats. So just bear with me for a second. We will move on to future topics, back to gaming basically, and the shit that's going on there. First of all, DramaticaLaur doesn't have much time, so for $2.99 Australian, and thank you very much for that, The question is ribeye, steak, or roast chicken? Choose carefully. Well, that's difficult because roast chicken has been my kind of default. I will eat it any day, any meal, any time without fail, especially if my father has roasted it. I will eat any amount of roast chicken, especially the breast, forever. Yes, you can clip that. I don't give a fuck. On the other hand, I did have ribeye yesterday because they started selling it in my supermarket and it was fucking glorious. This is an impossible decision. I'd have to take roast chicken because it's more affordable.
I'd pick roast chicken as well because for me, a great way of having filler food, especially if you're hungry, is to cook the whole roast chicken.
You bet.
And to cut it up and then to have lots of sandwiches with it. I like eating cold meat as well as hot meat. So having, like, you could just cover up the chicken after a little bit of time. You can't reheat it, obviously. But you cover up the chicken and you can have, like, so much food with bread.
You make soup,
butter.
sandwiches, loads
exactly.
of stuff. Yeah. But a steak sandwich is killer.
Yeah.
That, especially in a nice bit of baguette. Fuck.
Is that ribeye steak on the bone or is
no,
it
no.
Oh, okay, right.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean ribeye is great. If you can't have that, strip loin's good.
The chicken is versatile.
British sirloin's good. If it's well prepared. Depends what country it's from too. I'd like to keep steak a luxury. So it depends on what scenario. Am I going out to dinner or am I eating at home?
I usually don't eat steak because I'm like it's like when can I, and you can clip this.
You gotta tenderize that shit and then like put it in baking soda, bicarbonate of soda for a little while, and it tenderizes the fuck out of it. You can also just cover it in salt and pepper for like a day beforehand, and you're sorted. But roast chicken for everyday meals, steak for fucking steak night.
I mean, you could probably get 2 or 3 chickens for the cost of a good ribeye. So I mean, just in terms of like, quantitative amount, like,
Actually, it's surprisingly cheap in the Philippines now. It used to be ridiculously expensive, and I guess they've started farming cows or something that aren't emaciated as fuck because there's a lot more steak here.
More reasons for me to like, really consider this international move. I mean, I just keep.
You can get a decent steak. You can get 3 decent ribeyes for $10.
Wow.
Yeah, this is why we have to deal with the cost of living crisis in the West, folks. It's as big of a problem as open borders, but it really doesn't shock people.
For the record, a chicken is $3.
Yeah.
A chicken.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what my thought was. It's like, yeah, man, like you could
buy a kilogram of just breasts of chicken for like $6 or something.
Yeah.
Like 4, 5, 6 pieces, depends on the size. So there you go. That's my answer, I guess. Both, obviously, contextually. Hope that is satisfying. I know it sounds like I'm sitting on the fence, but
it also depends how we cooking it.
To eat both.
If I could grill this, if I could grill this on an open fire,
medium rare. It's got to be pink in the middle, or you've killed it.
Oh no, we're not gonna. No.
We are.
Medium rare at most. Like I'm the guy who like you give me.
Oh, you like it blue?
I have actually literally eaten steak out of a refrigerator before. It was on a dare, but I did.
Are you fucking mad?
I'm alive.
You can digest it. You really can.
Yeah.
If you just flambe it, or flambe, I should say. My dad's watching.
You
can absolutely eat it. I'm not too keen on the idea.
I mean, like I wouldn't make a habit of it.
You got rare, you got medium, and you got.
Want to talk about Tangent Kings? Dramatica lost the new champ. Go on. Anyway, no, I mean, yeah. Look, if it's even more to the side of you're already just ruining it. If it ain't still bleeding and that blood isn't turning to juice, what are you doing? Eat the steak.
Yeah.
You'll grow up one day, Brian. Don't worry.
That's right.
Anyway, that's my answer, and I'll give you this for that.
Yeah. Anything I would, I like cooked fat. cook beef fat.
We'll mix reality-based debates with reality-based cooking.
Indeed.
Yeah, why not? Anyway, I have some more I need to go to before we get to the topic. So we're actually making remarkable time without having the pressure of Rush News on us. So fuck Rush News. James Up came back for 5, still talking about the Game Awards, and said, "Well, I've been told my opinion is worthless." Who the fuck told you that? It wasn't us, was it? I mean, I wasn't.
Thin skin don't win the mind, James. You gotta take any kind of
whatever. Leave the man alone. Never attack your fans. I didn't. I don't think you did either. Anyway, your opinion is certainly not worthless. It's worth quite a lot, apparently.
Yeah, and at least here it's worth $5, And just
I hate social media. I do. There's nothing social about it. Go on.
Yeah, no.
Fuck social media. And fuck attacking the fans. Anyway, I would keep it about gamers and not content creators. There are too many to... I'm going to read it the way he's written it because I know he's corrected it in the next one. Okay. Dingle one out. But he then followed that up by saying single out.
Oh, I think you might have had it correct the first time.
I think you might have, yeah. I don't know if I want to dingle one out. That sounds sketchy to me, man. But I appreciate the sentiment. Your opinion certainly is not worthless.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can keep it to Game Awards, but I also feel like maybe the Fan Awards would be a better title if Game Awards were to get copyrighted. Yeah, because there is a little more going on in this day and age, and he's left it up to the paying participants to nominate categories. And this year in particular, I feel that like journalism really was under the microscope more than a lot of games in certain months, and rightly so, because it's become a shit show. So, but I know what you mean. And hopefully one day when this is all over and we can relax, we can have game awards that are just about games, not about politics or who's fucking horrible to their audience. And, and once again, I'll say, fuck being horrible to your audience. And in light of the fact that he has given me so many super chats, I'm gonna have to do this. And there you go. That was
getting a multifaceted Ryan. It was
Ryan
in and out of reality.
Exactly. I know, right? It's like he's 2D 1 minute and 3D the next. And the funny thing is that the image I drew of him is in sharper resolution than he is.
I know.
So there you go. There's that.
Yeah, I mean, it's closer to 4K than him being 480,
It really is. Anyway, let's talk about some shit in the game industry. First, what do you want to talk about? Code Violet, Kingdom Come Deliverance, the absolute state of gaming, or, and I don't think we'll have time for all of them. I definitely want to get this one in. Dragon Age FAILGUARD officially.
Let's start with that. That's
all right.
Good one.
All right. We'll probably go on so long about that we won't have time for all the others. But suffice it to say, there's a lot more going on with Code Violet than just them thinking that PlayStation or PC gamers are perverts, and Kingdom Come Deliverance, Daniel Vavra or whatever his name is being a moron. So
He
just in
sold his
case we don't
soul.
have time for them, just in case we don't have time for them, and the way this stream is going, it's looking like we won't. Let's get into Dragon Age Veilguard, because do you guys know about this? It's been
where they admitted failure.
Yeah, it's that one. That's it. And well, what can I say? I mean, I'm going to play the air horn. I mean, what more can I say? Maybe
nice.
Like this was a long time coming. Everybody was right. We were right. Everybody we know was right. There's so many people who spent months calling this out. We spent more time than most because of your personal interest, Ryan.
Yes.
And my, aging interest. But this, let's talk. Fuck it. Go ahead. Say whatever you want.
Yeah. Let Ryan
Go
lead
on,
this.
John.
He's-
No, John. I'm still writing.
All right. Well, you're building your aggravation. So, like, for me, like, like when you and I will, we're here on Halloween. It was just the two of us going into like all the symbology and all the weird fuckery that is afoot in this game. I believe we just kind of said right then and there, like how all the next few months were going to go, and here we are, months later. Having seen exactly everything that we foresaw, like play out exactly as we
virtually word for word. Word for word. So EA has lost, it turns out, the difference between 7.5 to 7.8 billion and 7 to 7.15 billion, which to me says 6.65 billion.
That's a lot of money, ladies and
which
gentlemen.
is $650 million, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like that's Concord territory.
I made a video about it and I second guessed my math, my mental arithmetic, but it is, isn't it? That's circa either side of $500 million lost.
People don't seem. Well, yeah, people don't seem to understand because it's been so long. But 10 years ago, 11 years ago, Dragon Age released by far its most financially successful game. It wasn't their best game because Origins was their best game, but Inquisition to this day is the most financially successful game that BioWare has ever made.
Yeah. And, it seems that each game tends to be a referendum on the previous game, right? In a series anyway, as elections are as well. So when Inquisition came out, it was a referendum on, let's say, Origins and 2, because Origins was glorious. 2, I've never played it, like I said, was rushed, and thus was not given air to breathe and was not given proper development. And then the fans had enough goodwill left from Origins that the referendum went positive, and Inquisition sold gangbusters based on Origins at the time they'd given it in development. This one is the antithesis of that argument. So I'm going to argue against myself now, because Veilguard, by rights, were nothing ever published, should have been a referendum on Inquisition, which would have made it the most successful Dragon Age game of all time.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we got to look at it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Veilguard, that's why I always said when this was a topic of the day, Veilguard would have been a great 5th game as a concept. I mean, what we got, folks, was the first 30 minutes, Dreadwolf, and then an entirely new game, which was forced down our throats, for lack of a better term. And that is why I personally think that when you look at Veilguard, in concept, it's an interesting concept, but it was executed poorly. Cast of characters did not resonate. The story didn't resonate because people didn't want to explore the Veilguard. They wanted to take on the Dreadwolf and to finish what the Inquisition started in the Trespasser DLC, which was to beat discover and then ultimately beat the Dreadwolf. And people, especially in this day and age, underestimate how powerful Dragon Age was as a franchise, because for that year in 2014 and in early 2015, for the solid 12 months, it did incredibly well, but its legacy has diminished a lot because of the greater success of The Witcher 3. And that's really how it comes down to the analysis. I mean, it's like comparing Salieri with Mozart. Inquisition was Salieri, and Witcher 3 was Mozart. Okay. To use it's music reference.
Incredibly esoteric to most people, but I get it. Yeah,
exactly.
I want to
me.
Body positivity and all this stupid, like modernist bullshit that has no place.
Watch Amadeus the film for reference to what I just said. Okay, folks. Sorry, John.
That's all right. It's all right. No, I'm just saying, this thing was so completely misdirected in so many ways. you know, like this coming out only puts more emphasis on, you know, the fact that I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail that I made for my show last Saturday with Honey Badger Arcade. I made a Clockwork Orange reference. I called it Clock Out Coringe. You know,
that's pretty good.
And yeah, right. You know,
Still
like
not as good as Coringe, the fake minge book.
Oh, I know. I didn't want to, like, you know, completely step on that one because, you know, I know we did that here.
It's part of our thing.
Oh,
you know.
Oh yeah, I know. But I was like, it's like I wanted to, like, you know, it's like, what can I do that's evocative of that, but still kind of its own thing, especially since he was getting tossed out on his ass, you know, and like was trying to put off like that this was him, like, you know,
Andy
resigning rather than being.
His real name is
Corey.
Andy. I found.
Oh,
Andy Bush.
Oh,
yeah. I thought it was Andy.
I thought it was Corey, but anyways, the point being though, like, you know, just kind of like, you know, the whole idea of somebody just being like, clock out, you know, you're fucking done here that was kind of thing that went, but this is just, you know, this is the capstone to it all, is that, you know, like, of course, given that you're responsible for the loss of over half, you know, like nearly $500 million, you know, like, yeah, you're going to lose your job. There's no other way around it. Like, there's no amount of body positivity, you know, or any of this, you know, kind of social engineering that's going to save you at that point.
For something that disastrous, that's blacklist worthy.
Yeah.
Folks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll ever direct a game again. Not for AAA.
And I'm not someone who advocates for that, because I've said plenty of egregious things.
Yeah, but if somebody cost you $500 million, Ryan,
at least
pretend to be a horse.
Plus some, right? Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Glue factory.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, so that's what we're looking like now. Now, a lot of this they've blamed on FC25 or whatever it is that they call FIFA these days. Yeah, EA FC25. They've said that it's actually the majority of it. Mostly FC25 slowdown during the Christmas period. Well, if you release the same game every bloody year, and even when you change franchise titles, it's still the same fucking game that it's been for the last 20 years with minor improvements and basically just players on different teams.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you expect? And then Dragon Age Veilguard is a much more important title than FC25, because FC25 will sell. Yes, it will sell very well to the same people every year. Dragon Age the Veilguard is supposed to be for hardcore gamers, people who will support the game, will buy everything associated with it, will dress as the characters at conventions and la 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 la. No, you singularly failed to get anything over with Dragon Age Veilguard, and you offended everybody in the process. They even attacked the fans, which, as you know, my channel name, you know, I'm not big on people attacking fans. That's kind of my only rule on this channel. You know, times might change. Things could happen. My political opinions about DEI and things will never change. But the only real rule is don't attack the fans. They did. You saw what happened with Nure and that fucking freak show Unifade Walker. And all of that utter pandery crap, cringe Bush, and all the shit associated with him. Whatever his real name might be, whether it's Corey or Andy, and
or whatever.
At the end of the day, it's Troon. That's all it is.
It's Demon. It's the thing we do in Doom.
Yes, it's one of them, isn't it? Sorry, it's been a while. I got to find my clip.
No, demons, like demons.
Demon presence at unsafe level.
Yeah, there's no way Dragon Age is going to release another project. The damage is it's done.
I mean, look at it over the timeline, right? You've got Dreadwolf was supposed to be originally, right? Then it became an MMO, and then it became a live service.
Yep, and then Anthem tanked.
Then Anthem tanked.
Changed their mind on that. Yep.
Drastically pivoted. You could still tell from the core mechanics they were going for a live service co-op maybe God of War light bullshit,
So terrible.
piss stain version of Dragon Age. Then color palette changed to sort of nauseating
Bright and gay
purple, which we've never even been able to quite put our finger on why that shade of purple is so gay, because it's not a direct color from any particular flag.
Yeah,
it's the color of a poisonous frog.
Well, that'll
like an
work.
amethyst.
That'll work. Yeah,
Crystal.
something about that shade of purple tells me caution.
Well, make that green. Make that green, right, instead of purple, and it looks like a modified Inquisition logo, because the original plan was simply a reskinned Inquisition that would ultimately be called Dreadwolf, set in northern Thedas instead of southern Thedas, using a lot of reused assets, especially from the multiplayer aspect of Inquisition that was secondary. That's why you had Isabella in the multiplayer of Inquisition. You'd have Hawk there if he
dropping them bobs
as well, and set it in northern Thedas. Call it Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and have like a reskinned Inquisition that looks a little better. That was the original plan from the developers of Inquisition, but in 2015 and in 2016, because it was planned to release in 2016, they lost their developmental control, and that's when it went from head to head to head. It was like MMO this, live service that, single player, going back to single player after that, and then it changed again with this creature at the helm that changed it from Dreadwolf to Veilguard in the last year of development.
To body positivity, and I'm so special for being here, and we need to make a game that, celebrates
John, I am sure this game, Veilguard, took 12 months to make from pre-existing assets, because Solas and Varric look different in style and look more detailed, I dare say.
It was cobbled together.
Characters.
Oh, yeah,
together from bits of this and bits of that, much like the True themselves.
Yeah, much like Disney does scrapbooking for how they make movies, this was a scrapbook video game.
You took something that was supposed to be a thing, and you changed it in various key irreversible ways to make it into an utter monster of itself, not unlike Corinne Bush.
That's what I was about to say.
There you go. And while we have a brief pause, shout out to Smash JT, who showed up, dropped his dick on the table, dropped $9.99 and said, "Cheers, guys."
Holy crap! Holy crap!
Thank you very much, Smash JT. Appreciate you, brother, always. And everybody else, of course, as well. We appreciate you. I'm reading your comments as we chat. But yeah, so I mean, this game is the trans Dragon Age.
Yeah.
You know, in more definitions than one. It is Dragon Age posing as something it isn't. Or it's something else posing as Dragon Age. Whichever way, it's wrong.
Yeah, the one positive I can say for this game is when I made my thumbnail for Drag Queen Age, it was our most viewed episode of Honey Badger Arcade Week in Culture. So
I still put Suicide McDuggins in any thumbnail that I make that is associated with Dragon Age. Has been the case since I literally watched Hypno stream on release and freeze framed it, cut around it, and put it in the first thumbnail the next day.
And that's all the project will be. A footnote.
The beautiful thing about that,
creators' journeys. That's all this project will be now. It will be a footnote on the history of content, pop culture
Game
content
fuel.
creators. Yeah.
And you look at that character that they tried to portray. I can't even think what his name is anymore. The character that's in the game that dictates the plot and is non-binary or whatever.
Rook.
No, that's you.
Oh, no, that's you. That's right.
I can't think of his. Tosh. That's it.
Yeah.
You only work with various screenshots of her. She's meant to be female, I think. Or rather, She
Yeah,
is a
she's
female,
Abby
but-
Smash female of the
Right,
dragon. Yeah.
which actually makes more sense considering her race. But you look at that and you think, okay, that's what they decided a non-binary character should look like, and then you get everybody, but for me, most of all, Hypno, making characters like Suicide McDuggins, and I think that's what most people see.
Yeah,
they run into people who try to become aberrations of nature in real life. So that's why I just laughed my fucking head off and immediately made that the poster child for all my thumbnails. Because that's reality. It's reality versus fiction. Fiction, they're like, oh, this is Tash. It's a woman who claims to be non-binary and is still beautiful and lovely and wonderful. And then you've got this fucking monstrosity with a cow face and horns and purple hair and a ridiculous jawline. And that's the actual thing. That's what the actual result is, always. There you go. So, Dragon Age Veilguard. I don't know if we'll hear any more from it now. I mean, what more is to say about it?
I mean, that's its utter success is its utter failure. Like it is so just. I mean, it literally, like, not only did it tank an entire franchise, but it tanked an entire game development studio. Edmonton is
a legendary one.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to shut down over this. Like, this is it. This is the death knell. Way to go!
Yep.
Stunning and brave.
Did Anthem kill any BioWare studios?
Nope.
I don't think so.
And it was pointed out that the Dead Space remake didn't tank that franchise either, no matter what people thought of it.
And that was only made to try and stop the Callisto Protocol from taking off. But
in many ways, actually, when you think back about it, Dragon Age Veilguard was one of the worst iterations of something, if not the worst iteration of something like this happening ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it did everything that all the other games do a little bit to 11.
Yeah. The only bigger, falling flat on its face property of 2024 is Concord.
Yeah. And at the very least, Concord was an original thought. It wasn't a legacy franchise.
Concord wasn't ruining something that existed before, and neither was Dustborn. Nor was Dustborn such a high-profile, like AAA years in development.
Right.
Concord, inspired by the plane. It would have made a lot more sense then.
It's probably why Dragon Age Veilguard should win shitty ass game of the year at the Game Awards, but we'll see what does, because it will probably be Concord.
Dude, when we read that Time article and this thing got #1, good God, that is still going to be probably one of my most livid moments ever on this show. I lost my shit that day.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. That was absolutely awful. It was the 10 best games of 2024.
Yeah.
So the same company that made Hitler Time Person of the Year also made Man of the Year.
They also made Trump Man of the Year.
Yeah, but narrative
and Musk
made Dragon Age Veilguard Game of the Year.
Yeah, they had Helldivers 2, Lego Horizon, irrelevant. Star Wars Outlaws, already irrelevant. Black Myth Wukong, 7th, disgusting. Alan Wake 2, not even a fucking game, a DLC. They had Never, which I've
never heard of. Yeah.
Silent Hill 2, which was disrespectful and remade and also censored and had its own issues. Nowhere near the level of Veilguard. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, fucked with the story, fuck you. Astrobot probably should have been Game of the Year for normies and is for a lot of people. And then they made Dragon Age Veilguard the #1 game of 2024. Compare and contrast, dear student, with the fact that it lost arguably $500 million.
Right. Game of the Year. Wow. Well done. You are totally not out of touch over there at Time Magazine. Not even slightly.
Time to close magazine, for fuck's sake. There. Oh, well, there you go. And in case you haven't yet, please.
The stream.
Share the stream.
GRIFT for the scream. For fuck's sake.
Tell your friends to watch the stream.
GRIFT.
Join the GRIFT force.
There we go. There we go.
Tell me what you think. For $2.
How much to get Ryan off the show?
How many things can we grift off in the next 30 seconds? No, fuck that noise. No, just like the stream, all right? And stick around if you're having fun. Anything else is a lovely bonus. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Code Violet then, because this is an interesting one. It's not a very depthy, deep one, is the word I'm actually looking for. My pointlessly polysyllabic brain, and it's an interesting one. I don't know that much about it. There may be details that I don't know because I only became aware of it like as I was going to bed last night, which is nearly 24 hours ago. Is the whole shebang the fact that they lied about why they're skipping PC, that they obviously lied about it? Because this looks like it should have been fucking awesome. Like, basically, it's Dino Crisis, but in modern RE, post RE4, RE2 remake style. I mean, this sounds great. Horrifying, but great.
Right.
And then they totally shit the bed, claiming that they were going to refuse a PC release.
Right. On principle.
Yeah.
Now that's bold. I mean, it's bold to do that sort of thing in what is now 2025 because of how much PC has cornered the market. So that would have been a bold statement if it was true. But just briefly listening to Will's context of the situation, I don't think that was their motivation.
No.
I disagree entirely, especially after Cassie blew us all up earlier on when she messaged Hypno in our little combined chat and gave her take, which I find, based on her in-depth attitude towards these kinds of things, I should just take at face value.
Yeah, she's a Cult Classic Cage is a gaming specialist, folks. If you want all the latest and greatest in gaming, you check out Cassie's channel.
She has a lot of time to, or she spends a lot of what time she has. I mean,
exactly,
really diving into things, which is great. And as a result, she came to us with a totally different take, and I'm gonna get it up on the screen because I shared it to our chat earlier on for this show, just so that I could read it verbatim on the show, because I think it's also fucking hilarious.
Well, if you're going to make a statement in regards to why you're not going to release on a certain platform, make it an honest statement and don't try to cover it up with something. People would rather appreciate honesty, openness, honesty and transparency and loyalty over any kind of talent or capability. I would rather have a loyal fool of a supporter than a sharp, smart, disloyal, disingenuous supporter.
Grifter. So here we go. Look, basically it's going to be released only on PS5.
Oh, right.
And this is in the era where every major studio is eyeing the PC. And in fact, if we had had time to get into the proper state of gaming, we discovered earlier on Hyperdrive Time, my other show, that most people are developing for or are looking at developing for PC in the game industry because the writing's on the fucking wall for consoles, unless you are the Switch or the Steam Deck, which, you know, it's kind of just
Steam Deck is a PC.
Exactly. Then desktop PC or gaming laptop is the platform you want to be deving for because it's obviously the most natively obvious one to do it for. And also, the gamers are fucking abandoning consoles in droves. Yes, sure, the PS5 has sold 65 million units, but it doesn't have any games. The 65 million people who own PS5s are probably, at least in the back of their minds, kicking themselves because
I tell everybody
have 3 games for it.
Well, the last time I checked, Will, the sales between Xbox and PlayStation in this generation were on par with one another, although it has been at least a year since I checked that statistic. And I think in terms of sales, the 9th generation of gaming has been fantastic for all the console game companies. But the monumental failure has been there hasn't been enough games, especially exclusive games. So if companies out there like Sony, like Microsoft, like Nintendo are willing to, you know, bribe talent to be exclusive to them, that I can understand. But PC is definitely a winner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I've been
going like this. If the 10th generation of consoles is just going to be nice looking console but no games for it, that's not sustainable.
Yeah. No, I've mentioned it before. Astrobot is the only game on PlayStation 5. You know, Astrobot that was included on it, and of course the game that came out this year. That's it. You know, and anybody that I have ever talked to about owning a PS5, I always tell them it's one of the worst gaming consoles I've ever had any displeasure of actually owning, and I'm never going to own another Sony system after this because it's such a lackluster experience. You know,
I've told this many times. Even this is the second time today, I think.
Okay.
For me anyway. For Americans, it was yesterday. I've been a career Sony guy. I have been since I was 9 years old or something around that age, a Sony kid. Like I was a Nintendo kid before that, and a Sega kid too. I was an only child, and I got everything secondhand, usually from my cousins when they upgraded. You know, I got a PlayStation. I loved it. I became a PlayStation and a Nintendo guy. I never bothered with Xbox, but it was always PlayStation first in any generation. The only generation where I bought a Nintendo first when there was a PlayStation was the Wii, because I was really interested in that at the time. But so when the PS4 came out, I was all in, especially after the disastrous reveal of the Xbox fucking One, the Xbone. I figured that was the death of that brand, and frankly, it kind of has been. But the PS5 is a shit show. I was never once convinced to buy a PS5. Not once. I've not even been tempted.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we have figures in regards to games released per generation, but off the top of my head, for 8th generation, the PlayStation 4 had at least 1,600 games released on that platform, and for the Xbox One, it was about 900, which just goes to show that, of course, PlayStation 4 prevailed because they had far more quality games than Xbox and far more exclusives. Can anyone even name 100 PS5 games? Are there even 100?
No. The PlayStation 1 had a ludicrous amount of games. It depends on what you count as a game on the PS1. There was so many in different territories and on different tiers of actual release or, you know, bootlegging or whatever. There were like 9,000 games on PlayStation 1. Ooh. There were over 4,000 games on PlayStation 2. Wow. PlayStation 3 had about 2,000.
Okay.
PS4, I think, is about 1,600 or something like that. Really? They're trying to say that there are 3,100 games on PlayStation 5.
Are they including like their digital libraries for like the old titles? Okay, yeah.
Oh, what a cop out that is! They haven't made 3,000 PS5 games.
There are not that many new games on PS5.
Legacy.
Well, based on that statistic,
actually, there were 3,400 games on PS4. Sorry.
Oh, right. I just know the figure of 1,600 courtesy of the secondhand market. But looking at those statistics you mentioned, though, Will, it's striking to see how the direction is going in terms of quantity. Maybe not quality of games, but certainly quantity of games seem to be fluctuating, but trending to go down in console gaming. Now, that may not be true of of Nintendo, it's certainly true of Xbox. There are more
Here,
360 games than
here are a
one.
list of a few games I'm just going to randomly select
Mhm.
that are on PS5.
Mhm.
You know, Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, but they're also on PC.
Right.
Resident Evil 4, that's a remake.
Mhm.
Then let's go a bit more obscure. Last of Us Part 1, remake of a remake.
In
Ghost
under
of
a decade.
Tsushima director's cut. Death Stranding director's cut.
Yep.
Demon Souls,
Mhm.
remake of the predecessor to an actual successful series. Alan Wake 2, again, not exclusive, not a reason to upgrade. Persona 3.
Mhm.
Persona 3. What else? Fuck's sake. Octopath Traveler. Octopath Traveler 2. Like Balatro.
What about Returnal?
Does anyone?
Does
Sea of
anyone?
Stars is very good, but
Mhm.
go on.
Does anyone remember Returnal?
Yeah, that's on there.
Barely.
I think that's. I don't know if it's still an exclusive, but when I think of a PS5 exclusive, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is Returnal, and it may not even be that.
None of these are system sellers. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on PS3.
Yeah.
None of these
Is
are fucking
Skyrim
system
on
sellers.
this list, Will?
I bet it fucking is. I guarantee you Skyrim's on there somewhere. If it's not, Bethesda is seriously not milking it enough anymore.
Right.
There's like 4 Star Ocean games on there. There's not even been 4 Star Ocean releases in the last 20 years, except remakes.
Right.
I don't know. There are a lot of games. For example, Sakura Alien, not safe for work. Sakura Alien 2, not safe for work. Sakura MMO, not safe for work. Sakura MMO 2, not safe for work. Sakura MMO 3, Sakura Nova, all of these are not safe for work. Sakura Succubus, Sakura Succubus 2, Sakura Succubus 3, Sakura Succubus 4, Sakura Succubus 5, Sakura Succubus 6. Some of these came out in the same year as each other. These are listed as PlayStation 5 releases. So that's how they got to the 3,000 games on
Are they
PlayStation
that?
5.
Are Sony that desperate that they're like, fuck it, goon.
Yeah.
Well, I know a few hypocritical Christians who might be interested in that, but
Where's
I
my
couldn't possibly
burger?
name any
Where's my
names.
burger?
Couldn't possibly shout out any names. That's for other people to do.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, I just make clips for them. Anyway, so yeah, Code Violet, they completely and totally rejected the PS5, the PC, and you're gonna laugh at this when you realize what I just listed. They didn't want a PC version due to the potential for vulgar mods.
Who's their games director?
Some douche from Team Kill Media.
That
it's funny.
sounds vulgar.
You know what's funny is you can't even say their name on YouTube without getting flagged by some background algorithm.
Right.
That's like saying we don't want sex mods in our project. Well, what's your company called? The Backdoor Coalition.
Big media.
Right.
Yeah.
It's or like how
Coalition. That's what I was supposed to say. Backshot.
Anal Fist Media, just
right. It's like Grand Theft Auto with their decree that you can't make drug references in a game about drug running.
Yeah, crack whore media. Yeah, I mean, they're just words. They put them together doesn't mean anything. Anyway, that's got fuck all to do with it. And we know it's got fuck all to do with it, as I pointed out, because it was shared to us from Cassie, who does her research, that there's a real reason. And she says the reason, oh, by the way, there was a tweet. I should get to that first. He said, for those asking us about a PC version of Code Violet, the reason we're not bringing it to PC is we do not want anyone modding vulgar versions of the main character, as well as other characters in the game. We hold our voice actresses and actors with high regard, as well as our artistic vision, maybe autistic, for the game and story, and reject any form of destroying that with sexual mods. Well, just have Nexus ban them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what everyone else does. Making a joke out of our art and possibly tarnishing the reputation of our voice actresses and actors is not worth the extra money we can make.
Sure.
That's horseshit. You are denying yourself 60% of all players, and that's not got anything to do with it. As what Cassie did say. You may have already heard this if you watched Hypnocast earlier, because I shared this with them as much as I could. She says, and this is something they would object to, as it is rather vulgar. So, brace yourself. The reason why Code Violet devs are throwing shade at PC is because their asset-flipped garbage games don't sell on PC with the Steam return policy. You may remember asset flip as a term that was coined actually by Jim Sterling back when he didn't have tits and had a brain. And it's the perfect one as well, because it was back when everyone was using Greenlight and stuff to just download Unity packs and then re-upload the game that comes with it as a demo and try to sell it for $2, and it worked a lot. But then the return policy changed, and now you can't do that. Apparently, they depend on PlayStation's no refund policy in order to continue to make asset-flipped garbage. So I want to know what other games they've made. These devs were console warring on Twitter back when they were about to release Quantum Error, saying that the game wasn't possible without the power of the PS5 SSD, to which some fanboys got behind only to find out Quantum Error was a pile of garbage altogether. Of course it was. Then they released Sun and Bone, and a year later, and only like 4 people played that game on Steam. Now, a year after that, Code Violet is coming out. Just to give you, and Smash, that was Hypno and Smash, but I've stolen it. Thanks, Cassie. The lowdown on the real reason why people want to dunk on them. They aren't woke. They just aren't getting exclusivity, and they aren't getting exclusivity money. The Team Kill Media devs are literally just clowns making Unreal Engine 5 asset flipped garbage yearly, and then they say stupid shit on Twitter to go viral and get weirdo PlayStation fanboys to champion the so-called exclusive to PS5. Yes, that is how pathetic these cocksuckers are.
That sounds like Cassie. Which means the solution to the problem that is Team Kill Media, folks, is to have this topic just be a one and done and then go radio silent, because it thrives off the publicity necessary. Because I haven't heard of any of their projects.
Because I don't pay attention to asset flips. That's why it's hard to find them.
Well, I mean, even
of the platform or the company itself, which means, folks, sometimes, in the future, sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. The louder the opposition shouts, the more you can smile and not say anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, their whole line of bullshit about like requiring a PS5 SSD, they do realize that it's just a 4-channel SSD that you can get in any PC system.
Yeah, but SSD, John, is short for PlayStation's SSD's nuts.
I suppose, but like
God.
Well, I was just gonna say a solid state drive, yes, it is faster than the previous versions of SSDs,
but 2.
But they're quite literally like my laptop has the exact same kind of SSD in it, and it's costs less than the PS5, and it's just as when I first came out, and it was just before I started using it as a server. But yeah,
if you're going to use,
I do want to point out something just quickly here, because I think this is fucking hilarious, and I only just discovered it right now. This screenshot you can see here is apparently from Code Violet, and it looks pretty good. It's a little foggy, which is a little suspect now that I'm looking at it properly, but it looks kind of good. The idea is to evoke imagery of a Resident Evil remake style Dino Crisis game, which there is definitely demand for. And this screenshot is from Sun and Bone, that game that Cassie mentioned.
Right.
Now this is total asset flip garbage.
Yeah.
Look at the wah, wah. Yeah. Look at the dinosaurs that have just been stolen from other media. They're not shaded similarly. This one's got a cannon on its back, strapped to, but not even strapped to it, resting on it. So's this one. There are miniature, uncolored, like plain, like white meshes or something running around of dinosaurs. Right. There's apparently a tanker or something that's like, and another, then another ship, and what in the, yeah. Wow, this is an asset flip. Yeah. So
if Jurassic Park was made in the 90s with 50s technology.
Yeah. And there you go. All right, that'll do, guys. Before we wrap up, James Opp has chimed in once again. My God, man, for $10 more, you absolute stone cold motherfucking legend. Says the thing about not supporting PC, all advancements in gaming come from PC gaming and mods. Exactly. Look at Unreal Engine, came from Unreal. Of course it did. All multiplayer FPSs came from Quake's player mode, made mod Team Fortress. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, they did one based on Half-Life as well, which I can't think what that was called. But yeah. And you're absolutely right. This is exactly why PC gaming is inevitable. Like Thanos.
Yep.
And that's all I got to say about that. You guys got anything to add?
I mean, I wouldn't have paid attention to this thing one way or the other. It being exclusive to PS5 only makes it all the more sad and pathetic.
Well, if console gaming
it means that PS5 has become the new Steam Greenlight, apparently.
Right.
Well, if console gaming is to survive into the future, then you're going to need lots of projects. You're going to need lots of exclusives, and you've got to focus on your own platform because exclusivity is the ace in the hole for console gamers, and you need a lot, and they need to be good. Yeah.
Remember when the Wii had the Wii had all that shovelware that came out and a glut.
It ruined its reputation and Nintendo's. And then the Wii U was, like I said before, the Wii U was supposed to bring back the single players, but it's like, bitch, fuck off.
Yeah. Where's the F?
When are you going to throw us under the bus again? It was only when the Switch came out that people started to believe they were interested again in what gamers want.
Because it was more like Wii F U than Wii U.
Yeah, it was. It was like, well, frankly, the Wii name was dirt in gamers' eyes anyway.
Right.
And the Wii U concept was terrible, complete crash. But there you go. It all comes back. I mean, no matter how much of a diehard console guy you might be, I was. PC gaming was always superior. There was no question. We didn't have like YouTube hit piece videos like what Rags from EFAP deals with the console versus PC kids, or used to anyway. But I was one of those people who was like, yeah, I play on console because it's easier, and I don't have a PC powerful enough. Now, thanks to Steam and having a PC powerful enough for work, it's easier to play my games on PC.
Indeed.
Why would I need a console? And all the pads work.
Yeah.
So if I want to play with the pad, I can.
You know? Sony, if you want to be serious about protecting your brand, then get whatever franchises you have on PC off PC if you want to do that. Or just give in and work with Steam, with Epic, and welcome to the club. You won the console war. You won it so well, you destroyed console gaming.
Yeah.
You are the Charlemagne of console gaming.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And now look where you are.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to be. You know, Xbox has already made the shift to being
not the black Charlemagne, the actual
Charlemagne. Right. But yeah, Xbox has already made the shift to being a service-based model, and the PlayStation Network, that's where it's headed. You know.
Yep.
That's it. You know, there's no reason to get a PS6, especially because by that point in time, they'll be firmly entrenched in, well, this is a service-based model, and you can get a proprietary system that's geared for this, or you can just use your PC. So why not do that?
Yep.
Save some money.
Absolutely right. Okay, that'll do. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry we didn't get time to all the topics, but that's fine. We can do them again.
That's what Sunday's for.
That's what Sunday's for, baby. There you go.
right.
Let's get to
Weekend
outros then.
cleanup.
We can, yeah, exactly. We'll do the weekend cleanup with a bit of Doctor Who news thrown in as well. It's the new era. Anyway, John, what you got coming up?
Well, for the rest of the day, I'll probably be doing some production work for Scooby Pup's podcast, and maybe do some stuff with Toasty to help her do some production stuff as well. Other than that, just getting ready for Tangent Kings tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And then, of course, not Sunday, but Saturday, early in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, be on Weekend Culture with Brian, talking about something. I'll probably send him the PDF file as well, so I can kind of do a little bit of a dry run, which I assume we'll get to on Sunday here as well. And then, of course, right before Saturday Night Hypnosis, we'll do the lead-in for Scooby Pup's podcast, and then we'll be back here for WTF Live Sunday edition, where we'll do the stuff that we didn't get to today and anything else that might happen between now and then. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So other than that, I'll just say, as I often do, safe travels ahead. Have a wonderful week going forward, and be awesome as always.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Ryan.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the 75th episode of WTF Live. It's always a pleasure to be on this show. And it's good to see that my musical and historical references work on Will, but I don't think they'll ever work on Atreus. But hopefully we'll have a fantastic...
Spears in the chat. Spears fired.
Hopefully for reality-based, expect, there we go. More videos, more shows, more videos from said shows. Of course, tomorrow, reality-based Tangent Kings. We haven't solidly confirmed a special guest, but John and Dan are doing what they can. I'm outsourcing because I can't carry the massive load, and it's a really big load.
We do have Theta Sword.
Yes,
definitely going to be one of them.
Is lined up. Yes, great guy.
Yep,
one of Tony Stark's
cohorts.
Associates. And of course, reality-based Old White Road on Sunday, and of course, hopefully myself and Will, fingers crossed, be on the next episode of Saturday Night Hypnosis. And well, the name of the special guest escapes me at the moment. Blooper brain that I have.
It's Gothics, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. Or
is it Savvy?
Yes, Savvy.
Yeah,
it's going to be a very explosive show, folks.
Yeah, I knew it was a lady.
Especially if she wins the best game journo of the year. She's going to milk that. Especially, yeah.
Depends when the voting closed. Had to be a few days ago at least in order for Craig to be able to produce the show. So there you go. All right. Well, there you go. And of course, thank you very much to absolutely everybody who has watched this, the 75th episode of WTF Live. Appreciate everybody who's been here for the duration, everybody who is still here. I still need to update the credits. Unfortunately, I just barely got the Hyperdrive Time edit, which was extensive, finished in time. And then I discovered I'd lost the master edit of the credits. So now I have to make it from scratch. So that's a couple of hours work for me. Maybe less. I don't know. I was able to superimpose a certain theatrical fake cancel victim's face onto a video game character getting thrown through a window in about 40 minutes earlier on. So with rotoscoping and lip sync with dialogue from another clip. So I'm capable of a lot.
Fucking furries, man. Fucking furries. You bastard.
You know what?
Disavow and denounce.
At least cover it up if you're going to be
all right. At least delete your tweets. Anyway, special shout out to Nowhere Man 42 for joining, Yrys Roda for gifting 5, James Up, Furious Dan, James Up, DramaticaLaur, James Up, Smash JT, and James Up. My God. Legends, fucking legends. I've had a great day, and I will leave you with the credits and see you, well, in about 8 hours time, just under it. Hope you can make it. Bye.